Welcome to another Recurrent review. And we are going to talk today about Elder Through Zero, released on Friday, May 29th. You know, I had another review already in the can for this, and I was going to release it last Friday, and then I realized that because when I pre-ordered my copy from Blues Funeral, that they sent it almost 10 days early. So I realized that I was a week too early. And then the more I listened to this record, the more I thought, I don't think I'm going to do a regular review. I mean, I had a review where, I gave a little bio of the band, and then I went song by song and everything. And I was like, you know what? I don't think we're going to do that this time. I think that we are going to talk about how great this record is. And this is going to be not really a review, but more of a celebration of Elder Through Zero. And so we're going to look at the physical copies, the record and the vinyl and the CD. And but first we'll talk just a little bit about Elder if you're not familiar. Elder was formed in Massachusetts in 2006. At some point they moved to Berlin, Germany. I'm not sure how long ago they did that. They've been described as a combination between doom, stoner, psychedelic. Let's see, they use, and progressive as well, sometimes referred to as heavy psych. They use the pentatonic scale, which is kind of a characteristic of stoner and doom, as well as heavy grooves. And when I first started listening to Elder, it was this album right here. It was recommended to me. I'm not even sure who recommended this to me or which YouTube video it was. Innate Passage, I think 2023. And I was like, I looked it up and I was like, well, stoner. I don't think I've ever heard any stoner. So I was like, I wonder what makes it. I wonder why. I was listening to it thinking it sounded proggy and more like just regular metal. And then I was thinking, I got into like this groove and I just started going like this. And I was just like, oh, okay. I think I get why they call it stoner. But so if you're not familiar with them, and if you haven't heard this record right here, Innate Passage, on Innate Passage they kind of use the keyboards. There's Mellotron in there, and there's also synth, but the Mellotron is kind of for orchestration, and the synth is usually a synth solo. But on Through Zero, they kind of make the synth actually be part of the like one of the composition tools, and so there are some of the main melodies that you would normally think that they would put on the would come from the guitar will be the synth. And so there's also some EDM elements. There's some programmed sequences of synth on here. If you're one of those people that doesn't like keyboards in your metal, I'll try not to make fun of those people. This will not bother you at all. There's nothing. This album will offend no one as far as the use of keyboards, because it doesn't. It definitely doesn't. All of a sudden, it's keyboardy or something like that. They're just kind of all over the place, and if you like heavy music, you'll like it. If you like prog music, you'll like it. Let's look at the physical items. Let's see. So this is the vinyl. I almost took it out of the bag, but this bag is really nice with that sticker there. You're going to want to keep that. I will tell you at some point when we get to the credits who did the design of this, because I think it's beautiful. There's the front of the vinyl. There's the back of the vinyl there. 6 tracks on Blues Funeral. And I highly recommend that you go there and buy one of these. There's a couple of different variants in vinyl and the CD, and there's also the CD. The CD is very nice. And then you can download it on Bandcamp as well. So this is the inside. And when we get to the CD, you'll see that the inside has that image as well. First record, A and B artwork. This particular one is red, black, marble, and 2 tracks on each side, and then the which you'll see in a minute, the second record is 2 tracks on the first side, and there we go, CD, and then the etching on the fourth side. So there is side C, 2 tracks, and there's the etching. Very, very nice. If you like vinyl at all, uh, buy this on vinyl. And I'll tell you, one of the reasons why I think you should definitely do that is that, look at this. I'll have to be careful with this because I don't want anybody to use this code. Check this out. A download card. When was the last time you saw one of those? From Bandcamp, too. So that's great. I bought the CD because I thought I was going to need it to get the tracks to play in my car. This is the insert that's in the vinyl. It has some credits on it and lyrics. Only lyrics for 5 tracks because of the 5th track is an instrumental. So the band: Nicholas DeSalvo, guitar, vocal, synthesizers; Jack Donovan, bass guitar; Michael Risberg, guitar, Rhodes piano, slide guitar, which I thought it was really cool that he gets a Rhodes piano credit. I don't remember that from any of the previous albums, but that may be the case. And then George Edert, drums, percussion. The artwork and graphic design was by Adam Hill, and I think it's really beautiful. So that was the vinyl. Here is the CD. And the vinyl has like a matte finish on it. This CD has like a different, it doesn't have a matte finish. It's almost kind of a silky finish to it. So here I'm covering up the title. There we go. Back of the CD. Inside, it's holding on tight. Again, looks like the inside of the vinyl. And then there's a booklet. Looks a lot like the vinyl booklet. You got that in the front, got that in the back. Credits and lyrics. And then more credits and another illustration in the back. So, so this record, like I said, I'm not going to go track by track because vinyl, Elder is one of those kind of bands where it really, and I don't want anybody to misunderstand this. It's really a challenge to learn this music. There's a lot going on. It's very exciting. There are a lot of twists and turns. It does a lot of things that you don't expect it to do, which is really cool. It'll get locked into a groove and then it'll change it, or it'll get locked into a groove or a series of riffs, and then there'll be a left turn that goes on. And so I find myself, and you probably will too, being surprised, like maybe the first 7, 8, 9 times you hear one of these tracks, you might fall for the surprise again until you finally figure it out. I'm definitely not on the I'm so familiar with it that I know what's coming kind of a thing. And if you like that sort of stuff, you will love this record. See if I can say anything about the tracks. First track, Sigil to Ruin. Second track is called Capture Release. I was not prepared for the amount of ass that this song kicks. Definitely the heaviest song. And when I was listening to it, I was thinking about all my friends from the Contrarians and the other YouTube communities that like heavy music. And I was thinking, well, they're all going to love this. Seriously, run, don't walk to buy this album. Through Zero is another track. That was one of the ones that they teased early. And Strata, another great song, another one of the heavier songs. Sight Unseen is a instrumental, and I didn't even notice it was an instrumental until it was over, because I was just like, hey, did they not sing on that song? Because there's so much going on. It's like you don't miss that there isn't any vocals on it. And then Blighted Age is an acoustic, more of a atmospheric track to end the album. I think some other things I want to say about Elder, especially if you haven't listened to them. The vocalist, Nicholas DeSalvo, I'm not sure which he goes by. He kind of sounds like Chris Squire in a way. His voice is layered. Sometimes it's unison, sometimes with harmonies. And there's like a distance between the vocals and the listener. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean that like he's not loud enough or anything like that. It's just that there's an ethereal quality to it. Like you kind of feel it's not direct. you'll need to hear it to know what I mean. But great drum performances on this record, great riffs. I mean, I really think that people are going to love it. And I'm going to give it a 9.5, only because we're only in May, June, almost June, and we don't know what's going to come out for the rest of the year, and I don't know whether something's going to come out. I mean, we know it's going to, a lot of the things that are going to come out, but we don't know what they're going to be like. So I don't know if there's going to be a 10 that comes out later. So for right now, I'm going to be I'm going to be conservative and give it a 9.5. I think when it comes to the end of the year, I think that it's the one to beat. I think that Elder Through Zero and this record right here, NMB Lift, are going to be the records to beat. I don't know which one I'm going to put in front of the other. I can tell you that I do have some very, very, very minor issues with this record. I think it's a little too busy at times, too much going on at the same time. But that's a minor complaint for a fabulous, very uplifting record. So there you go. I'm serious, you guys. Go get this. Go get this as soon as you can, and get a physical copy. Throw some cash to these guys because they really deserve it. They really came up with something really fantastic. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.